Yes.
Yeah, we can.
Yes, yes.
Okay, cool. So Clarissa, please, you walk us through this your process. Let's just hear from you. Yeah, now the BA. Yeah, you're telling us how you met a process. So walk us through the process in about 3-4 minutes.
Yeah, let me try. Good evening, everyone.
Says good evening.
This is basically what I do as a financial sales executive. I work for an insurance company. So what we do is to create insurance policy for customers, bank customers precisely. So the first stage, which is the start, I wouldn't call it a button, is we prospect our customers. Then next to we provide them, we ensure that those customers provide them valid documents to us. Then the next is having had to review the customer's document. The documents include their valid ID card, their utility bill, and what have we. Then for the diamond, well, that's the decision gateway. I actually have stated out that we have the eligibility where we decide if this customer is eligible to actually have this policy with us or not. So if yes, we have the policy created for the customer. If no, we are taking the customer back to providing them maybe a certain document, maybe CSC or whatever. Then the next one is the payment process. The customer have to make payments, and that payment will have to be confirmed by our finance team. The next is our welcome call. We call our customers up and cheer them up, tell them thank you for buying our insurance and policies. After then, the next stage is the final review by our inquiry team. Yes, so after the review, it will now be sent to our COO office. That's the CCO, not COO. Sorry about that. The chief commercial officer who will now, review for the last time and then approve. But if she doesn't approve the process, it goes back to prospecting the customer again, or if she gets it approved, or if she has, gone through the documents and everything is cool, she will go ahead to approve it. Thank you. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yeah. Thank you so much for this. You've done well. At least you are able to identify what is a decision gateway, and you call it the diamond, which is also very good. It is very, very nice. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It shows that you guys are already BAs. So just one or two reviews. Maybe sorry I didn't mention it. Normally your start button, or rather your start tab, should be like a circle, and you just put start, and the prospecting is a task, so you just put like a rectangle.
Okay.
And yeah, and Taiwo asked one very nice question the other time. He said, "What are the things we look out for?" So normally a task, we either start it as a verb, or because an action. So which is, you're right. There's no right or wrong way, but we would, as time goes on, we'll begin to fine tune and look at what is the best way or the best standard to present or your process map. So you see, this is just what they call an assist. Is as we're going to talk about it today, all throughout today. Assist. If you're in assist, it's nothing different from what you have just done. You have just gone and looked at how your system works, and you have just put it down on paper. So you see, all this here now will enable or help anybody understand what happens in your department or in your company without plenty notes, grammar, drama. You need to probably begin to check words if you had the right spelling and all that. Is there anybody that has another sketch to share, please? Thank you, well done, Clarissa. Thank you so much for this.
Thanks
Thank you.
so much.
Yep. Any other person? Don't be shy. This is, as a BA, you will be doing this often. You will have a big audience. You would make mistakes. You would make blunders. They will eat you raw. You will still come back and sort yourself out. But so don't be shy. As she's talking about it, you can see that whenever there are one or two issues or mistakes, we are able to resolve it as a family. So any other sketch?
Okay. I have.
Uh-huh. Nice
I
one.
have one.
Okay, can you share? if you want to.
How am I sharing?
Are you using your laptop? Or
No,
using your
phone.
phone? Can you drop it in the
Yeah.
chat? Can you drop it in the chat here? Like in the chat.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, don't drop it in the chat.
I'm coming.
And now, yep. So while we're waiting for him to drop it in the chat, just a quick update on the skill matrix forms you all submitted. We've analyzed it and looked at it, and I appreciate everyone for sending his or her form. We've decided that we're going to carry out upskilling for everybody in the class for Thursday and Friday. That's what we're going to be doing. So we'll have groups, we'll have breakout groups, we'll have groups for Microsoft Word, because a lot of times you also be doing some documentation. We'll also carry out some for Excel, also for PowerPoint, and also for MS Visio, which we are using right now just to do our process map. Why we need that upskilling is because we want everyone to at least have an idea and see how that works. If you do not have all these skills, you can see now, even sketching with your hand, how much more we now use these tools that are available. We are also going to, put in some AI chat prompts as well to help everybody. Because as a BA, you do lots of research, lots of reading, lots of research, lots of reading, lots of documentation. So I want us to be prepared and ready for just don't jump into the market, and when they ask you questions, you don't know what to say. But we are all together. We are all here to take you by the hand. The back office will at some point today or maybe tomorrow, or before the class, send out comms to everybody. So if you can drop your emails, then they'll send out the comms so that will give you like a timetable for those classes for the upskilling. Okay, Jason, I can see yours. Okay, cool. Let me try and see if I can. Okay, nice. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Let me see. Let me see if I can share. So please drop your email if you can, then we'll take it from there, please. Let me share Jason's. So Jason, can you walk us through this, your process map? Yeah, Jason, are you here?
I am.
Yeah, okay. Can you see my screen? Can you walk us through your process map, please?
Okay. It's not showing in full on the screen though.
Yeah, I'm not trying to reduce it. Yeah, can you see it now?
Okay. Yes, I can.
Okay, cool.
So should I start?
Sure, go for it. The floor is yours. Go for it.
Okay. So I decided to go with something I know a bit about, like customer service. Like, sorry, how do you call them? A salesman's point of view. Yeah, if you want to sell the phone or something. So it starts from, first of all, your customer comes with what they want. Most of them come with an idea. Okay, I want, like you said, iPhone or Samsung. Then next, the gateway there, if it's available, you go forward by discussing price and method of payments. When they agree to that, you test it. you set it up, you write the receipt, then it ends. Or if they say no, if you don't have what they're looking for, you show them an alternative method, an alternative model, sorry, or products. If they agree to that, you go back to discussing the price, the payment method, and so on. But if they don't agree, that's the thing. Life is like that. Sometimes they might say no, they don't want what you have. So it ends that way too. So I don't know if I was wrong by doing that, by ending it there too.
No, you're not, like I said, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. So we would. That's why that upskilling is very important, so that we'll be able to show you how to place this. Thank you very much, first of all, for this. It shows that at least you can actually be a B. You can do it. This is straightforward. There's nothing more to add to it, except when you upskill, you now get to become like the professional. So you are correct.
Yeah.
This is very good. You're able to show that you start from somewhere. Put the start button, and very important thing that I note is the decision gateway, which is what I am happy about, that everybody in the class has gotten, that there's a decision gateway at some point, even in our lives and in businesses and in every, and again, you are able to articulate it. So, which is very good. Thank you so much for this. I'm very happy and to see that we are making progress with this business analysis program. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm keeping all
Okay.
these
Sorry,
process
sorry,
map here. Thank you so much.
sorry.
Thank
Maybe
you.
sorry to bump in. Maybe they can give us
Yeah.
a background on what they do, so we can get more context on what their flow is trying to do. I can guess Clarissa is in insurance or something.
Yes.
Well, yeah. So I don't know what.
Yeah. Jason does. Okay, I wasn't specific about the profession.
I
I just
know,
told
I
him
know,
to
but it's
just
just
draw
it's
a
just also
process
good
here.
to add context to who is
Okay,
talking.
okay.
So as we get to know each other better, we'll at least have an idea of the mix of
Yes,
people
makes
in the
sense.
group.
Yes. So, Jason, the floor is yours.
Okay. Okay, I'm into sales of gadgets. I sell gadgets, phones, laptops, and all that. So
Nice. So we are not only just here as
Okay,
trying to learn
good to know.
and all that.
Are you in Nigeria?
yes, I am.
Okay, all right, cool.
Okay.
Just to have some context on who is talking, who is who.
Delta State.
Yes.
Well,
So
Delta State as well.
Okay.
Okay.
anybody close to Jason can patronize him, and we can also buy insurance from Clarissa as well. So we are not just here just to talk. We're also here, you can also buy phone from Jason. Okay.
It's true.
Yeah. So a nice one. Any other one? Just one more, then
Yeah,
we jump
thank
onto this
you.
class. Yeah, thank you, Jason, so much. Thank you. Just one more, then we'll jump on today's why I wanted us to look at this the sketches is just it's just for us to understand the concept that we're going to talk about today. So any other sketch? Let me look at and call somebody. Let me put somebody on the spot. Charles, no sketch. Let me see. Perpetua, no sketch. Ugo, no sketch. Tony, no sketch. Nkem, no sketch. Main, no sketch. Okay, cool. AB, please, can you share this? Can you share the slides, please? So today we'll just be we'll be looking at continuation of what we looked at on Friday. It's Friday or Saturday? Yeah, just a continuation of what we've been looking at. Today we're going to go a little bit. We're going to delve in deeper into business processes. Can you take me to slide 2, please? Okay. We talked about this on the last class. So just imagine trying to assemble a complex puzzle without seeing the picture on the box. So for instance, you buy stuff and you don't have a manual. I don't think you'll be able to fix that is a puzzle or whatever it is, or fix that, couple that particular product you have bought without a manual. If it has to do with nuts, bolts, and all that, I don't think you'll be able to fix that. So that's how a process is. So we are just going to transfer that same ideology to our businesses, which we talked about on the last class. We talked about ensuring consistency in operations, promoting efficacy. Okay, no problems, Kim, no problems. It's all right. Aligning activity with business goals, facilitate better decision making and problem solving. So, Abi, let's go to the next slide. Okay. So, the key component of a business process, which we have just seen in those two sketches we have seen and the ones we've done before. So, we have what they call an input. An input could be the resource, the material. Please take this down from the screen. Okay. Yeah, take it back to the last slide.
Sorry about that, please.
Yes, okay, sorry. Take it to the other slide before this one. Yeah, so an input. So every business process map or business process differs from the type of business it is. We have activities.
I'm back.
Okay, welcome. So we have activities, tasks. Those are those like the rectangle you saw the other time, so that there are specific tasks and actions that needs to be performed. So that's why I talked about it either starting with a verb or then we also have an output, which is the result or the outcome of the process. We have actors and stakeholders. So I think Madam Justina, she talked about inspection team 1, inspection team 2, so those are the actors. Stakeholders, you keep hearing that word. As a BA, you need to understand the meaning, the word stakeholder. It's going to keep coming all the time. You're going to talk about it every meeting you attend. They might even send you an email. So when you get to, like, maybe you have an interview, you won't just call the man's name. You say, okay, I had a meeting with stakeholder. You're not going to call Mr. XYZ. I like what Clarissa said. She talked about COO or CCO. So CCO is like a stakeholder in that process, not the man's name. So those are the words that will imbibe. Sometime during the class, in progress of this program, we'll send you BA acronyms and their meanings that you use all the time. You have to get used to those words you'll be talking about. That's what you talk about all the time. Then there are some rules that govern or guide your, rules that govern or guide your process, how it should be. We'll also discuss that as we go on. You find out why we have those rules and why we must keep to them. And flows, there are some flows. Yeah, there's the order and manner in which flow would go. A flow will not just go up and down, zigzag, so as not to confuse the stakeholder, because they're the ones your audience might not really understand what you're doing. So your flow must be as simple as possible at all times. It must be as simple so that the intended audience will understand what is going on. Go to the next slide, please. So like you can see that each task and activities that we looked at earlier on, even from my own sketch, Justina's sketch, Clarissa's sketch, Jason Sketch, you can see that those tiny tax are a part of the larger goal of the organization. Clarissa's own shoe, they want to sell, they're selling insurance. So those tax are all part of it. Jason's own talks about the phone. Madam Justina talked about enrollment for like you want to get a school. She talked about the different tax and processes that would eventually at the end of the day get to the intended goal or whatever it is that they're looking at. And they are all connected one way or the other. You could see that the arrows were just going and connecting, even though they have a decision gateway, you have a no, it's connected somewhere, so everybody understands that. We have all taken, so for instance, if you want to travel, you are not just, if you want to go to, let me say you're in Warri, you want to go to Port Harcourt, you won't first of all go to Abuja, except you are flying. Except if you are flying, you can actually take a flight connecting you to Abuja, and they say you take, but you might think, why would I go to Abuja? Why don't I take the road? There are times that the Port Harcourt Warri Road was flooded. One has to take a flight from Warri to Port Harcourt, or Warri to, you get what I mean. So you're not just going to just start going. You need to have a plan, and there must be interconnectivity. You're not just going to just have. If you look at all the process map that we have done, you didn't see anyone standing in isolation. It was connected somewhere. When we do the class, the upskilling class, we'll learn more about that interconnectivity. We'll see how to connect dots. We'll see how to connect tax, how to get a decision gateway, how to end the process. I don't know. We might actually start doing what have a bit of what they call swim lanes, where you have a business process between different departments. For instance, look at Madam Justina's own when she talked about they'll do a name search first. So the person that does the name search does not work in the same department of the department that will do inspection. The person that will give the approval has a different department. So we're going to see how they connect to each other. And I think that upskilling, I'll be there. So we'll do that. I'm noting it down. Next slide, please, AB. So we are going to look at value proposition. Most of the reasons why, or the basic reason, or one of the why we have processes, is just to add value to a business, and that business will make money. Profit is the end goal of whatever it is. So everything we do as BAs, we always consider what is the impact to the business. We always consider what is impact to the business. We also look at our customer. If our customers are happy, obviously the business will make money. So we are on the side of the business at all times. So we're going to look at the business process should be aligned with the company's value proposition to ensure that delivered products and services meet customers' expectation. And customer satisfaction is key. If you patronize a business and you are not happy, you won't be a repeat caller on that type of business. Just like you told somebody to bake a small cake, like for a child, bake a cake, Batman cake, and the person bakes a cake with one funny face. You won't go back there. So we're all looking at where the customer is satisfied. So that's why it keeps saying, as a BA, you are always on the business side. Whatever decisions they make, you're all just going to be guiding them towards making value for their product, more money, happy customers, happy stakeholders. We are going to look at examples of business value proposition. We talked about one the other time, being the best customer service, quick to and quick response to inquiries. When you have like providing unique high quality product or services, those are business motto, vision. I don't know if anyone has who runs a personal business here. Does anybody run a personal business here, please? I like an interactive class. Does anybody has a personal business? Okay, cool.
Yes.
So Cool. So what
Yes,
is your
yes.
your motto as a business? What's your motto like? I want to be the best of these. Just give me your motto, or your, probably, is it motto? I'll call it your vision or mission statement. What's your long-term plans? What value do you intend to add to what you're doing?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, sure.
Okay, like me, I'm a baker, and there are bakers everywhere now.
Mm-hmm.
So when somebody give me a job, like maybe a cake or a chin-chin to make,
Mm-hmm.
I will make sure that will make it very rich, so that when the
Okay.
customer tests it, I'll get referrals. One thing with baking is when you do a good job, your job will speak for you. You don't need to stress. Once you give a customer what he or she wants, you don't have to say much. Your product will speak for you. So I make sure I give them a quality and rich cake, rich one.
Okay.
When I mean rich, you get.
So that
So
means
that's it.
you make sure you add enough flour to it, enough sugar, whatever it is. You take time to design, you take time to
Yeah,
put the icing and all that. So all those are processes. And you are doing all those because you want to be known, you want to
yeah,
have good referral. So if you bake a cake that is not too cool, nobody is going to come back. So that's why I keep saying, whatever we're talking about, you have done it. You might not know those terms, but you have done it before. So you see your cake you're making, the process used in making it, because you want referrals, you want people to come back. You are meticulous. You make sure you put in the right amount of mix, the right amount of butter. Do you add water when you're making cake?
no,
Okay,
not at all.
not at all. You see now. What else you add?
Egg, milk,
Okay.
enough milk. Mm.
Uh-huh. So if you don't add enough milk, would the cake be okay?
No, it will be okay, but the taste will be different.
Okay,
Like
good.
when you add enough milk, it will be milky and fluffy.
Good, good, good. So that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Your processes. So all what you are doing in this your process is just to make sure you get happy customers that will keep coming back to you.
Yeah.
So that is the work of a BA, to look at the process. And so, do you have like measurement? Do you use like you measure, like you have
Yes,
cups, like using
yes,
measuring? Good.
yes.
Okay,
We
cool.
have cup, we have scale as well.
So good. So you see, all those are the processes to ensure that you come out with the right product. Can somebody else explain his or her business? Is there anybody that can explain his or her business, please?
Mine is pretty basic because there's no, as in, I'm not creating anything. It's just
Mhm.
about sales. So mostly it's about your customer relationship, the way you
Okay.
relate with who you're selling to, because the next person to you can be selling the same thing at the same price. So it's mostly about your relationship with the customer.
Okay. So that means you are going an extra mile. You're putting in extra effort to have a relationship, and that is also a process. So
Yes.
thank you. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool. So you see, those are the things that as a BA you would be able to, you know, to pen down and propose to, or tell the business as well. Why I'm asking all these personal questions is just for you to understand how it is. Like you rightly said, personal relationship. I've talked about empathy. So someone comes here and says, okay, you know what? Oga, beg, I don't have enough money. This is what I have. Can I pay 2 times? Can you do that kind of thing for the person if you know the person? Guessing, can you?
Yes.
Good.
Yes, that's why I said method of payment.
Okay.
You can
Okay.
decide that, okay, I will give you the phone after you pay for it or something. But there's a window for that.
Okay. So is it this type of process? Do you have other people in the same business that normally, they normally give out this type of activities. Okay, let me give you and pay 2 times, or you're not much that can do that, or this is just your own unique way of doing business.
We are not much, but it happens. It happens.
Okay, very
it's
good.
just
So you can see the extra value you are adding to your own business. So I'm just talking about the processes, how it works, what we should be looking out for. In layman terms, it's just that you are adding value to your business because you already have a customer. That one will say, I paid 3 or 4 times there. That one will say, I paid 5 or 6 times. So thank you for that. Anybody else? If there's nobody else, go to the next slide, please. Okay, cool. So there are 3 categories of business process serving different purposes. So we're going to now go strictly into, like, why I talked about the layman's own. I want to now delve into the real thing. One of them is one of the core process is I talk about the company's mission and delivering direct value to the customer, which we have also talked about. The other lady, they talked about how she, ensures that she makes her cake very, very, rich, so that when customers, get their, taste it, they'll want to come back for more. Jason is also giving pay 2 or 3 times and all that. So all these are the things that make your process go on. So let's look at an example. Order processing in a retail company. I've looked at how Amazon works. Amazon doesn't have a warehouse, so to say, or they do not produce anything. They don't have any factory. But what they do, they normally give they have a brand, they have a big name. So they normally give shops, so they're called virtual shops to people. So because you're buying from Amazon, is a trusted name. People can always, order from their phone. They can always order. They can get it 2 days. There are different type of agreement. They can get it in 28, 48 hours. They can get it in 1 day. They can get it that very day. So they've been able to fine tune that system, and it has made them so large and so big. You can even have returns. Some customers have gone one step higher. They have also like what Jason is doing. They have also partnered with companies that stand as guarantors, and they'll pay 3 times, they'll pay 4 times. So they have what they call Klarna, where they're using, you just use that in paying off your bill. So they're adding different type of values just to make sure that they grab the market, because the competition is very, very high. It's not just only Amazon. Amazon has competitors like eBay. So they have lots of competitors. They have Alibaba. Now Amazon has Temu to contest with. Amazon has Shein. So if you look at all those processes that go in the back end, all those are core processes that they want to make sure that they get value to the customer. In fact, sometimes there are some things you buy from Amazon, you want to return it. The store owner might say, don't return it. Instead of us to return it, our money is, don't worry about it, we'll give you a new one. So people are doing lots of things just to make sure that they get the customers. And we're also going to look at product development in the manufacturing firm, which we have. The cake example is a very good one. Let me also use the phone example. So you won't compare. Sometimes there are some phones they call Chinese phones. You can't compare those phones to the normal phones. Well, I'm saying the Chinese phones are not good, but that is what we know. You cannot buy a phone and you do not understand the language. One time we bought a projector. The projector was in Polish. We couldn't use that projector for almost 2 months because we were looking for the manual to convert it to English. For 2 months, we're using a projector with the Polish language. Nobody has gone to Poland before amongst us, so we manage our thing like that. And there was no help because we got it cheap. We wanted a cheap projector. So then also we're going to look at sales cycle in a service-based business. Sometimes so let me use a car example. You buy a car. If you buy a brand new car, you will service it at some point. I don't know how many. It depends on the car, how many mileage. Some companies keep in touch with you. They send you emails. You probably maybe get a text that your car is due for servicing. So there's so many processes involved in the service bill. So all those are the processes we need to think about. That's why I said we should all do sketches, so that let it just be enough. So that once they just wake you up from sleep, this is what we do. You're able to jot down and write and say, okay, we're going to go it this way and go it that way. Am I making sense? Do you need me to slow down? Because we have lots to cover. Is there any question, please?
No, we're good.
No questions. Okay, please to the next slide, please. So we also have support processes, so which I just talked about your servicing. So some I don't know who works in an environment where they have like IT help desk, where maybe maybe you can't log into your system. Someone you need to call help desk to help you out, to maybe if you are on Active Directory, maybe you are locked out of your email and all those type of things. You can't log in. So all those are processes that as a BA sometimes you might be called into to walk through that process, make improvement as well. It happens in HRO, in procurement as well. You buy some stuff, you probably need like a support. Like I told you about our projector that we bought that is in Polish, that we could not get anybody to even give us any idea on how that works. So if you're a BA, you're called into that. If I buy a product like that, you're supposed to send me an email just to make sure that are you okay? Are you fine with the product? Do you have any challenge? Do you have any issue? Do you have any blocker? Sometimes when you buy stuff off Amazon, about 2 days after this, you get an email. Are you happy with our product? Do you have any review? Do you want to make a change? So those are the kind of support processes. Those are the things that you're going to be looking at as a BA. You're going to be mapping out stuff, because they might call you and say, you know what, come and help us check this our support process that we offer. We're having issues with it. Are you going to help? How are you going to help us map out and assist, and also provide A to B to us? Let's go to the next slide, please. Management processes, so which we have also talked about earlier on, where a CCO has to approve. Madam Justina's when she talked about the DG's office, doing that process. So a lot of times, we also, as a BA, we are going to be looking at how do they do their own things, their planning, what are their goals? Is their goals aligned with the company's long-term vision? Budgeting. You might not have to be a budget BA, you might not have to be a financial BA, but sometimes you'll be asked to walk in their shoes. So that's where we have different type of requirement gathering, where you observe what they do, you analyze their documents. So we would look at that at some point. Let's go to the next slide, please. Yeah, let's go to the next slide. So we've talked about process mapping. We've looked at it. So the benefit of it is provide clarity on workflow, identify bottlenecks and inefficiencies, enhance communication among team members, serves as documentation for training and improvement initiatives. You could see Madam Justina's model just showed us how they work around it. Same thing with Clarissa and the same thing with Jason. So if we want to look at every sketch that we've had in this class, we're able to understand what they intend to achieve at the end of the day. We can identify bottlenecks and inefficiency. We can also save it as documentation. When you now improve that your assist to A to B, you can now save it and use it to train either new joiners or new staff. Most of the times as a BA, you'll be doing lots of training. You'll be training people because you are part of the people that formulated policies. You're part of the people that built the system. You might not be the developer, but you are part of that team. So they expect you now to document and train others as well. So let's go to the next slide. Okay, BPMN. So MS Visio is one of the tools we use for BPMN. We'll talk about BPMN. We've done BPMN, but we just use MS Visio just to understand what BPMN is. So it just looks at the analyzing, designing, optimizing, and automating processes. MS Visio can do so much. So we have done process discovery, we can document, we can we analyze the process, we can model it. Also, we can also optimize and improve. So for every diagram that we have seen, or every sketch, we can actually make an improvement on it. We can say, okay, why don't you automate this process? Why do they have to send a file from this place to this place? Why can't they send it as an email? Do you understand what I mean? Why is somebody not just checking on the spot and giving feedback at that point in time? Let's go to the next slide. So there's also what they call lean management. Would look at that. You need to have a little bit of knowledge of this because you focus on eliminating waste and things that don't add value to your day-to-day business process. We'll look at value stream mapping. Six Sigma focus on reducing variation, defect in processes to improve quality. They have different type of tools. All these are big acronyms, but they are very simple. So for instance, the Six Sigma, you define, you measure, you analyze, you improve, and you control. All these are just ways to ensure that you have identified all the waste by using your Lean Sigma. Things that don't make sense to you, you take them out of it. For instance, you have two offices. One woman carries its file, takes it to the other office. Somebody else takes that file, take it to another office. If you are told to turn your process to paperless, you don't need all those hand, take file by hand to the next place. So it depends on the scope of the business at that time. Let's go to the next slide. So we're going to look at different type of process improvement techniques, root cause analysis, which is one of why. For instance, let me give you an example. When I looked at, I think, Madam Justina's, do you remember I was asking her some questions? Why do we have to do this? Why do we have to do that? So as a BA, you should be equipped and skilled to ask questions. You need to ask them the why questions. Why are we doing this? Why must we do this? What is this for? What is that for? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? Also, benchmarking is very, very important because you need to also understand what is the best practice today in the industry. I used to work where they are a little bit old school and they're all behind, and because they're behind, their contemporaries or rivals have moved ahead. So we had to now move from that paper to paperless. Most of their documents were in Excel, which is not today's practice for today. We won't have you going to scroll on Excel and begin to check different stuff in Excel, where you can just put all on a CRM and just pull up what you want. You can run reports. You can you can just do what you want to do from your fingertip instead of you going back to Excel. So those are the things that when they call benchmarking, you are going to do like for like comparison with maybe your rival and see what they are doing. Is it the best? Are you offering the best to yourself? Are you wasting time by using Excel or by jumping up to CRM to ensure that you manage your customers better? Continuous improvement, we've talked about it, where you introduce improvements slowly and incremental over time. So at the end of the day, sometimes you cannot just put all your change just once. It's to stop a lot of things. Just like the lady that bakes cake, you cannot just mix everything together at one time and just take it and throw it into the oven. There is step by step. So all those steps, and once you keep improving on those steps would, at the end of the day, guide you into getting the intended results. Automation. A lot of businesses today have started using automation. As a BA, you're expected to know or rather to have a little bit of knowledge of automation. So when I mean a little knowledge means there are some processes that we can automate. You don't have to be the one, you don't need to have a human interface with it. You can automate those processes and increase speed. Just like mixing cake, they have I think they have, is it Buchi mix they have now? The lady that bakes cake, is it Buchi mix they use now to bake cake, to mix? Instead of using your hand to mix the cake, they have Buchi mix. You just throw it all what you want to, then you're done. Pounded yam. How many people still pound yam in mortar? You just still pound yam in mortar? They are now different type. No, right? So what do they use now? They use different type. Some people
different type. They swallow maker,
they
different
do now.
things.
They still
That
do.
can even make a bar for you.
Restaurant, they still do.
Maybe that one, they still do. So there's some places that if it's not pounded manually, person no go chop.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What if you have a house that you cannot have a pound? You cannot have a pound.
That's your house now.
So
Yeah,
those are.
I
So
live
you
in
like?
Ibadan, so we see it.
Okay, you see it. But some
Yeah,
of those, so I've seen some of those, what's it called? Some of those eateries. They have like this machine that's in grinding pepper. They used to pound to do their yam mixer, and they just do it like that way. So they have automated their process. They are now faster to an extent. You won't see. So let me use an example. Paper cutting machine. You won't see people use their hand to cut in an industry. You use people use their hand to cut. You see them putting a paper cutter, even mixing chemicals in an industry. You won't see them. Nobody use hand to mix anymore. They have different machine that mix. If you go to some industries, you'll be shocked. You won't see people. You just see them. You just see people. You just see the machines mixing. I used to work for Unilever at some point. So when they were making Knorr, you see different machines. Those people are there just doing QA QC, but you see that the machines are the ones that mix the Knorr and just pass them through the machines. Just imagine those days how they used to mix Knorr, the Knorr cube with their hand and all that. Has anybody tried to make seasoning with hand? You know how that process is very tough, very tough. Some people just rather just automate it. So even at home too, sometimes you can now it's easy. Nobody wants to turn on the light. You can just shout, Alexa, turn on the light, and the light comes on. And that's all. So those are the type of automation. I also talk about the RPAs, robotic process automation. So a lot of industries, a lot of companies are now going into automation. It saves them time. It saves them. It doesn't save them money because the cost is a little bit huge, but they don't mind because they are one industry standard, and secondly, it cuts out lots of error and all that. And they also have different type of systems that help them to plan. That's where you see the word ERP. So is this the ERP? It helps them to plan. If, like, for instance, like a manufacturing company, so they plan, they know what they have different modules in the ERP. You can have your assets, you can have your inventory. So it just depends. So there's so many things. So as BAs, please, I also advise us to, always read. It's not just going to end there and you just jump in there and just, you need to be equipped as well. But Infinix Tech is here to hold your hands all the way to get to that point. The next slide, please. Okay, cool. So one of the ways is to, optimizing your business process is just to make sure that you assess performance, which we have talked about. You identify bottlenecks, recognize where there are delays, resource shortages, or inefficiencies can occur. Eliminate waste, which we talked about earlier on. Re-engineering, which sometimes you need to overhaul your process. You need to so I just want to do like a bakery. You still use hand to mix. Now they have big major mixers that they can just mix easily. You remove that process. Some people still use what's that thing called? They used to use firewood oven, where now you can just buy oven that use gas, normal gas to work. A lot of people still use different type of things to bake, but now the industry standard, if you go to a modern bakery, you'll be shocked. But that modern bakery, they would have looked at the other type of it and how it works, and they will now say, okay, let's re-engineer our process this way. Just like even going spray painting your car. Now they have spray painting rooms. Those days you just use one painter will just come use paint it and all that. But nowadays they've modernized it. They put a lot of automation and fast results. A lot of things happen. So as a BA, you need to think far and wide. You need to think deep. You need to be analytical. Your mind needs to work like that. We're also going to during our upskilling, we are also going to do a little bit of AI searches, how to use AI to disposal to help you, come up with some, fast documents, how to use prompts a little bit. Let's go to the next slide, please. Okay. So after you have implemented this, your new, your process improvements, you need to keep on monitoring. You are also going to be setting metrics. So for instance, one of the roles I've worked at, one of our metrics was looking at the number of calls that we receive daily from customers, because we implemented what they call self-service, where the customer is able to just go online and just, check and help themselves, and just, if I have an issue, I don't need to call anybody. I have what they call a knowledge article, whatever it is. So one of our key KPIs was just to look at how many number of calls we get in a day. So the lower the calls, the more success we have. So we're trying to have what they call it, because we used to have like 6,000 calls weekly. So we now introduce self-service. We now, improved our processes, and those calls dropped to about maybe 2,000. The emails as well also dropped, because a lot of people were also able to go online just to be able to just, solve their issue. There are some customers that call, they just want to hear a voice. They just want to hear a voice and ask you irrelevant questions. So we're trying to stop that human interface. And we also looked at continuous monitoring, which is one of the things that we kept looking at, how to improve the process. We also took feedback from our customers as well, because feedback is very, very important. I'm happy that Jason and the other lady about the cake talked about their customers and feedback and referrals, which is very, very important. Then control mechanism as well. So which is feedback, audit, and report. As a BA, producing reports is going to be one of your day-to-day tasks. You might be asked to produce reports. Don't think too much about reports. Reports is nothing new. We have done them before, and we'll keep looking at them. It's just maybe your boss wants to see, like I said, he wants to see the number of calls that came in this week. He wants to see the number of closed cases. He wants to see the number of open cases. If you are investing in CRM, we have all those fields and tables that will just run and generate and give us a report. So Infinix Texas, we have capable hands to guide you through all those stuff. The next slide, please. So which we have done, the steps to develop a process model. We have identified the process. That's why I say people should, draw sketches. Let's just see, gather requirements, what task happens, map the process, which we have just done, validate. So, and that's why I said nothing is useless, which means that no information is not good. You need to collect as much as you need. When you are done, you need to go back to the stakeholder and say, please, this is what I've been able to come up with. Is this correct? Is there anything I'm missing? Is there anything you think I should add? As at yesterday at work, my Friday, my project manager, he told me to get what they call a velocity tracker for the team. I just did a template for him and I sent it to him because I don't understand what he was looking for. So he was able to now send me like 2 emails and say, take this out, put this in and all that. So that is just like a stakeholder validation. And it's also good to put it down, like there's a paper trail. So today I now went back to him to tell him that, look, this is what I've come up with, but we have a slight issue. So I'm just letting you understand the back and forth as a BA and what we do daily. So you would want whatever process you gather, whatever information you gather, ensure that it is validated or clarified. Have that paper trail. That's why we want that upskilling. You know how to send emails, you know how to work on your MS document, Microsoft Word, how to type emails, how to get back responses. We're going to give you guys an intro because every business, they have their own scope and different rules and all that. So optimization, look for improvement after visualizing, which is just the same thing. Okay. Next slide, please. Okay, Lozie, not to worry, we'll share the slides. So this process hierarchy. Sorry, we're going to run because we have so much to pack, because I want us to get all this today. Then next week, Thursday, Friday, upskilling. Then once we resume classes, we'll go straight into documentation, all this stuff. Everybody's going to start drawing their own process map. We'll give assessment. We'll check them out at the end of the day. We'll have breakout groups. We'll give you all tasks as well that you also be able to check. Why I don't look at this business process at a high level and all that. We've not looked at swim lanes, where I told you about where between different departments. We'll look at that at some point, but I would go to the next slide, please. We'll look at that during our training. From what we have seen, we know that there's a clear start point and there's a clear end point. Each business process should have a clear beginning and end to define the scope and avoid unnecessary steps. So straight to the point, concise. We will ensure that from point A to point B, we know what we are doing. From point B to point C, anything that is ambiguous, we will not put it. We'll not put it on that process map as well. So we know that there's a start, and we know that there's an end of it, which we would go through during our upskilling as well. So let's go to the next slide. So we have talked about an assist. So an assist is what all the sketches you have seen we all define them as assist, because we have been, that is how it is. I don't know who knows about building. So sometimes after a building has been built, they normally go to do an assist drawing of a building, or probably maybe they want to make an improvement to that building. They'll tell maybe the architect to go and do an assist. He will do an assist, then he will come back and say, okay, we want to make an improvement. We want to convert this house into this duplex into mini flats. So that is an assist. We'll now identify, okay, where are we going to put toilet? Are we going to turn the bedroom this way? Where are we going to put this door? Where will this window be? That drawing from that assist is what they call a to be. So we'll look at all those as time goes on. There's also a document we also produce whenever you have done an assist. You will do what they call a gap analysis. So that is just what I explained to you with the building, where you have one old building, you want to turn it to mini flats. So you are going to come up with a gap analysis to take you from that point to this point. So all these are documents that we'll talk about as we dive deep, into this BA class. There's so much to take in. There's so much to learn. I also want you guys as well, whatever words that sound ambiguous to you, you can do some searches. You can also drop questions as well. And, I'm always there just to, answer. You could just, so Infinix Tech is also there as well to help you out in whatever it is. So no question is foolish. Ask any questions you feel like asking. So we are always here to, guide you through and let you understand or clarify. The next slide, please. So, so identifying problems in the process. So most of the things that we look at that go wrong in process is delays and waiting time, duplication of tasks and redundant step. You saw the other one I talked about. Why do we have two departments? Why can't one department do the work of two departments? So those are the things that you need to think about as a BA when you're analyzing a process, when you're identifying problems. Lack of coordination between departments, which we'll look at when we do those swim lanes, where we have what they call handshakes. error and defect in output. Root cause analysis, so lots of why this, why that, fishbone diagram I'll talk about. I'll also share a fishbone diagram at some point to us to understand more. So let's go to the next slide. Okay, analyzing hands-off in the process. Hands-off happens when responsibility for a task is passed from one person to the other, just like Madam Justina's sketch, where she said when they're done with the name search, they send it to the inspection team. Inspection team, they finish their own work, and they now send to inspection team 2. So there's a clear communication. So they hand over a file or some documents to check. So as a BA, you're going to be checking all these hands-off, because most of the time during the hands-off, that's where you're going to identify maybe double work, you're going to identify redundancy, you're going to identify why do we need to do this twice. So as a BA, you need to just sit down and just think through. Minimize unnecessary hands-off to reduce delays, ensuring the receiving party has the information and resources, which I talked about the other time. Why are we having the other guys going back to do another inspection? Why can't it be done once and for all? If they explain to you, those are questions you will ask them as a BA, but then again, you need to also come back to say, okay, why don't we do it this way? Why don't we do it that way? Just advise. It's up to the business to accept or for them to say, no, we will do that in day 2, not day 1. So the next slide, please. So there are other factors that could cause inadequate process performance, such as market fluctuation and external regulation, which is like the SWOT analysis. So sometimes you might have a major company, but you do not have that. You do not have you have some weaknesses that your customers they are cashing in on. Just like between you have what they call opportunities, you have threats. I was reading the Nigerian Dangote and independent suppliers. Right now it's going up and down. So they're saying that if Dangote sells his fuel more than 5 now, more than the normal price, they'll start importing. So now importing is even cheaper than producing locally. We have sometimes there's somewhere there's Israel is bombing what's it called? Syria. Syria produces oil. Oil price will go up. They buy it at this price. So a lot of things can happen that can make your, external factors, regulations. Government can now say, okay, you know what? On the price of importation, I want to put XYZ tariff. It can affect you. So all the things you're going to be thinking as a BA in your head, what's happening. You need to be very versatile everywhere. You need to think, out of the box. Internal factors, lack of resources. Sometimes you want to improve your process, but the company doesn't have enough money. You want to automate one particular stuff. There's not enough money. Manpower, you might not have the right manpower. Poor communication, which we are going to look at when we do those swim lanes to see how that works. Why do we have to go from this to this? Why don't we go straight to this point? Maybe I talked about our custom contact center that we had. The contact center, they receive calls and inquiries, but they send to the wrong department. So we had to do I don't use a big word. I don't use it so we had to do we had to walk through the process of the contact center, and we had to do like a stakeholder workshop with them to understand, and they now told us that they're not getting enough information from the customer to get to send to the right team. So for instance, if the customer calls and says credit, so credit can mean 2 things. It could be my credit card is not working, or you're owing me some supplies. So we now went back, we now did a new inquiry form so that the contact center were able to get all the information from the customer and send to the right department. So we had issues of deliveries. So deliveries now, if they send it to the depot, instead of sending those delivery to business operation, delivery field to business operation. So if you send a delivery inquiry to the depot is only just to load and go. Business operation is the one that, you understand what I mean? So that communication, we had to understand how that works, put these two teams in the same room and took down notes. We now did some process maps and identified what was wrong. I also talked about outdated systems, which happens as well, and tools that can hinder process performance. So you're going to be looking at their system, the tools they use. So there are lots of stuff to do. So let's go to the next slide. Sorry, we are running a little bit late today, but we will try and round up. We are done. Automation, I've talked about it. We've talked about the lean. We've talked about continuous improvement, step for improvement, assess the current process, which is assess, identify areas for improvement, which is your gap analysis, design and implement the new process, which is a to be, measure the impact and make adjustment. Because sometimes when you design and implement a new process, you need to understand what happens to the people that are going to be using this your new process. How are they going to accept it? A lot of times people resist change. I've also had times that we had to come in as BAs to talk to the stakeholders on why we are making this change. Sometimes you have to put your foot down and show them that this is the business organization, our values, our mission, this is what is in scope, this is what is going to happen. We do not have a choice, but you have to accept it and be ready to make that change. There are times we have to put our foot down. While we will listen, but we have to put our foot down to ensure that the project does not fail. Let's go see the next slide, please. Yeah, I think we'll talk about Lean Six Sigma. We'll take it at some points. Next slide, please. We've talked about, so if you listen, I talked about cycle time, complete the process, customer satisfaction, which is very important. Our matrix, I used reduced number of phone calls as our matrix, which was very, very important for us. That was using measuring to know if the process that we improved or the solution we implemented was working. Go to the next slide, please. Okay, conclusion. So business process model is critical for aligning workflow with organizational goals. We already know BPMN. So VCO is just like a tool to achieve BPMN. Lean Six Sigma, we would go through it a little bit. I would give you guys maybe just one or two top topics on this Lean Six Sigma so you understand it. Then continuous improvements and analysis will drive sustainable success. While you have achieved, implemented it, you have achieved what you want, but you now continue to analyze and improve based on your feedback, reports, and audits. The last slide, please. Cool. Sorry, I rushed through today because it was so much today. Is there any questions, please? Is there any questions, please? Is it clear to everyone? Hello?
Clear enough.
It's clear enough, yeah. Okay. Clear enough, right? Any questions, anything you do not understand, let me know. So going forward, we'll reach out to everyone. I probably think everybody should drop their email addresses so that we'll send out our plan for the upskilling so that we'll be able to function in this role. So send out your emails and the back office will get back to you at some point just to ensure that you're updated in the plans we have so that everyone would come for that attend upskilling. It's going to be for 2 days. We're going to take Microsoft Word, we're going to take Excel, PowerPoint, MS VCO. We're going to also do some how to do some research as a BA. We're going to be working with either ChatGPT or Gemini, it depends, and so that we and also give you the right prompts as well. So those are the plan for the next classes going forward. But if you have any question that you think there's something you do not understand, just drop it on the WhatsApp group and I'll pick it up at some point and reach out to each and every one of us as it may be. I just once more thank you so much for.
Sorry, AB, 1
joining.
second, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, one or two people have just joined the class. It's good to know who they are. I know Nkem just joined. Is she still here? So maybe you can just introduce herself briefly.
I am.
Oh, Nkem, how are you doing? So can you just introduce yourself briefly and
Okay, I'm fine, thank you. Good evening, everybody. Can you hear
Yes,
me?
good evening. Yes, we can.
Okay, great. My name is Nkem Ozo. Today's my first day. Sorry I was late. And I just want to have a tester of the class, and I hope to be more participatory when I'm a bit settled in. I don't know what else. Do I say what I do or?
Yeah, you can say
Yeah.
what you do. So have some context.
Oh, okay. So I'm a senior program manager with the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office.
Okay.
And I'm a program manager in the development space. This is now on the donor side of the house, right? Not like I don't implement projects on the field or out there. I'm pretty much on the funding. We give people money to actually do the work, and then so that's what I do in a nutshell. I don't know how to explain that further, but maybe as we go along, I might be able to put in some more context to that, if that's okay.
Okay, so what do you expect from a BA class based on
Okay, so I am I'm already pretty much in the mid managerial, role, really. So I had a chat with Taiwo, and my understanding is, I also want to have a good idea to understand or have hone my competencies in how I transfer the skill I have now to in business analysis, right? So I'm sure there are some similarities. I already heard some words you were using, the facilitator. Sorry, I don't know your name. But
my name is AB.
And I recognize is what?
My name is AB, please.
AB, okay.
Yes,
AB, I'm sorry about that. So I already understand a few things that you talked about this evening, but I guess it's to hone my those skills around that better, and how that interfaces with perhaps the technology side of the house. Pretty much.
Nice one. You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Is there anyone else here that wants to introduce that is new? So we can.
I think I don't know how to pronounce her name. Fozia. She also joined us today.
Okay.
So if you want, you could do a brief introduction for Isa.
Hi.
Hello, Faiza.
My name is actually Fauzia.
Fauzia, yeah.
Yes. So I joined this class today, and someone reached out to me.
Fauzia's network is
Okay.
Good.
okay.
All right.
Her network is maybe on the next class.
All right.
Okay, cool. Nice. Welcome Nkem and welcome Faiza. We intend to see you guys on Thursday as well. And hopefully we kick it rolling from. Okay, so once again, thank you everyone for joining. Sorry we ran a little bit late, but I just wanted us to jump on this and conclude this here.
Sorry.
I'm so sorry, my network went off.
Okay, you're back for Isa. Okay, cool.
Yes, I am. Do I go on with the introduction?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I'm a recent graduate. I graduated from electrical and electronics engineering, and I recently got into the data analysis space. So far, I'm still learning and trying to navigate my way around. I think that's all. Yeah.
All right. Okay, welcome on board.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome, Fariza. Welcome.
Which school were you in?
I graduated from Bells University of Technology.
Okay, that's okay. Okay, all right. All right, welcome on board.
Okay, thank you.
Are we supposed to talk about where we graduated to? Sorry,
No,
just kidding. Bye.
Yeah,
No, because she said she's a recent
for the new
graduate.
guys, for the fresh guys, it's good to have a bit of context of, they're just starting their career, so it might just be useful to know. But you can tell us yours too. I think it'll not be you and it.
No, they show yourself for here.
All right, guys.
Nice one. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Lucky went.
Linda, you were here. Linda, you've been quiet.
Lucky, you want to say something?
No.
Okay. Cool.
Good evening, Taiwo.
Yeah, Linda, how you doing?
Senior BA.
How's a BA? A BA on vacation.
I'm good. I'm very good.
Nice. Okay, nice. Thank you so much, everyone.
All right. Good night, guys.
Okay, cool. Okay, good night. Or we'll
Thank you very
we'll chat
much.
soon then.
Good night.
Okay,
I'll be
see you on Thursday.
expecting the recorded class.
Okay, no problems. Okay, cool. No problems. Okay, thank you so much. Okay.
Nice to meet everyone. Good night. Bye.
All right.